Hey, welcome back to the piano. Let's go ahead and review the names of the sounds on the piano. What is this name? This is a D. What about this one? This is an A. What about this one? E. G. What is this sound? B. What is this one? F. What is this one? A. What is this one? This is F again. And what is this one? This is B. I'm going to go up the piano in thirds, naming the notes. A, C, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G. I want you to take a moment and do the same on your piano. Coming down in thirds can be so much more difficult. I'm going to come down in thirds. I'll start here on G, G, E, C, A, F, D, B, G, E, C, A. Take a moment at your piano and start high on the piano and come down in thirds, naming the sounds. In our last lesson, we talked about the interval of a second, and it's two sounds right next to each other. We also talked about the different fingerings that are available to play the interval of a second. I want you to find a second on your piano and play all the fingerings. At our last lesson, we also talked about the interval of a third. And we talked about all the different fingerings we can use to play an interval of a third. So I want you to take a moment and find an interval of a third on your piano and play all of the fingerings. Okay, here is a C on my piano. What sound is a third above this C? So here's C. The sound a third above C would be E. Here is a G on my piano. What is a second above this G? So a second higher than this G is A. Let's go down to this B. What is a third below this B? What sound is a third lower than this B? Here's B, and a third lower is this key, which is G. Here's C. What is a second higher than this C? If I go a second up from this C, I go to D. Let's go down to this E on the piano. What sound is a third lower than this E? What sound is a third lower? Here's E, and a third lower is C. Let's do one more. Let's go to this G again up here. What is a second below this G? Here's G, and here is a second below, and this is F. At our last lesson, we started learning a song all made up of thirds. And this is what I had you doing, going back and forth. Remember, make sure your thumb is on our middlemost C of the piano. It should sound like this. And then here's a third and a third. And you went back and forth. So today, what I want to add to that is go back and forth. Okay. Watch again. And switch your fingers here to D and F. Watch again. Here it is again. Go ahead and work on that until our next lesson. We are now going to continue our discussion on pulses, on one pulse sounds and two pulse sounds. We've spent a lot of time talking how some of our pulses are louder or accented and some of them are softer. And then our last lesson we started talking about sounds that last one pulse and sounds that last two pulses. So we're going to continue talking about that. We also began to assign names to our sounds. So our one pulse sound, we simply gave it the name ta. To write the name ta, we simply write T-A-A. And to sing a one pulse sound, I'll give you a pulse, I'll sing, and you can listen, and then you can sing as well. So here's a one pulse sound. Ta, 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 ta. Why don't you go ahead and try singing a one pulse sound. All right, and now I'm going to sing a two pulse sound, so you listen, and then when I'm done singing, you're going to have an opportunity to sing. Here is a two pulse sound. Ta, 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 ta. You try. Go ahead and sing some two pulse sounds. To write a two pulse sound, it's very similar to a one pulse sound. We're going to write T-A-A and write two more A's. So you can see how it says ta, ta, ta. Now that we know the names of our one pulse and our two pulse sounds, we're going to do an ear exercise. And I'm going to do an example for you first, and then we're going to do one together. So I'm going to sing some one pulse and two pulse sounds, and then I'm going to write down the names of what we hear. Okay? So here is an example. So you just watch and listen to make sure we understand what we're doing, and then I'll have you do one yourself. Okay? Ta, 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 ta. Okay, so I listened to what I sang, and now I'm going to write that out. So listen again. I'm going to sing the same series or rhythm of sounds and then write it out. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, so this is how I would write out that rhythm. I have two pulse sounds. So I wrote out ta, ta, and then I had 4 one pulse sounds. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again, where I am going to sing a rhythm to you, and I want you to do your best to write out the names of the sounds on your piece of paper in front of you. Okay, so here's another rhythm. So I would encourage you to listen first. Just listen to the whole thing, and then I'll do it again where you can begin to write it out. Okay, so here's my pulse. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, so listen again and begin to write out what you hear. Okay, here's my pulse. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, I'm gonna sing it again. We're gonna sing it a couple times so you have plenty of time to write out this rhythm that you hear. Here's the pulse. Ta, 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 ta. I'll sing it again. Ta, 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 ta. Take some time to write out what you heard. Okay, so what I sang was two pulse sounds, followed by a 1 pulse sound, a 1 pulse sound, and another 2 pulse sound. So this is what it looks like when you write out those sounds. We're going to do something very similar, except instead of me singing the sounds, I'm going to play the sounds on the piano. So just like last time, I want you to listen first, and then I'll play it a few more times so that you have some time to write out these sounds. Okay, so here's my pulse. All right, I'm gonna play it again, so have your paper and pencil ready, or your whiteboard. I'm gonna play that again, that rhythm again. Take some time and write some of the names down, and I'll play it again in a moment. Here it is again. And I'll play it one more time. So here's the pulse. The rhythm I just played looks like this. We have 1 2 pulse sound, followed by 6 1 pulse sounds. So ta, 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 ta. You have finished yet another lesson with me, and you are making progress. For your next lesson, I want you to continue naming the sounds on the piano going down in thirds. I know going down can be so much harder than going up in thirds, so let's keep slowly practicing that until it gets easier and easier. I also want you to continue finding intervals of a second and a third on the piano, and be sure you're finding or using all the fingerings that go with each of those intervals. We also have learned a lot about 1 pulse sounds and 2 pulse sounds. So get your metronome out and start it up around 60 or 70 and sing 1 pulse sounds and 2 pulse sounds. And don't forget to continue working on that song, The Farmhouse, that I've been teaching you.